Long ago, a small group of pure-hearted Saiyans questioned the evil committed by their race. The good Saiyans decided to lead a revolt against the bad, and to ensure victory, pooled their powers to create a savior, a Super Saiyan God. The savior easily defeated the evil Saiyans with his immense power, but he then vanished as quickly as he came, as the energy the Saiyans had offered him could not last for long. In time, evil again took root on planet Vegeta, and the memory of the Super Saiyan God became myth, nearly lost altogether.
The original Super Saiyan God. So as you guys know, I recently did a discussion regarding a power-up that Vegeta could achieve sometime in the Tournament of Power, and a lot of you guys rightfully pointed out that, listen, Goku's probably going to get a new transformation, so it's only fair that Vegeta gets an equivalent to that, right? How are you going to give Goku something and then leave Vegeta there empty-handed? So that triggered me to go back and dig around in the series of Dragon Ball Super and see if there was anything in the story thus far that could maybe foreshadow some kind of a transformation or power-up that Vegeta will get sometime in the future, and what better time than right now in the Tournament of Power, of course. Now, something that hasn't been discussed in a while is the original Super Saiyan God. Now, it's been around 2 years since we actually saw this mentioned in the Dragon Ball Super story, specifically in Battle of Gods. 2 years, right? So I understand why people are not talking about this right now. But there's still something very interesting about the original Super Saiyan God that's leading me to believe that it has some connection to Vegeta today, possibly a transformation. Now, warning, there is no confirmation. This is simply speculation, but it's speculation worth noting because this was a major event, and Super Saiyan God now is being brought back into the fold. We're actually going to see that in this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super as Goku jumps to Hit's defense against Dispo, one of the Pride Troopers. So what is the original Super Saiyan God, and what does it have to do with Vegeta? So if you guys remember when Battle of Gods started, Beerus basically had a dream, and this was a dream that pretty much started the entire storyline because that's what made him actually pursue the Super Saiyan God. And in this dream, he basically talked about how there was a powerful Saiyan warrior back in the day that he would fight time and time again, and this dude would actually be a challenge. Like, it was really entertaining for him, and he wanted this again. And this warrior was described as a Super Saiyan God. Now, the vision from Beerus' dream is most likely Goku, right? Goku was the one in the prophecy, which is why Beerus and Goku fought in Battle of Gods. There's nothing that explicitly states that, but it's pretty much assumed, right? I mean, if you look at the outline, it's kind of similar. But that prophecy was separate from the story that Shenron told about the original Super Saiyan God. So when Goku asks, like, yo, how do I attain that transformation that Beerus is seeking me, to attain, Shenron basically explained how back in the day there was a Saiyan that went Super Saiyan God and pretty much like took out all these evil Saiyans, and that's why he was able to do it, because he went into that special state. Now, what is that special state? It most likely is Super Saiyan God. There are going to be revisionists, basically people who take things in the past and try and twist them. They will say, like, this was unique, this was a special type of Super Saiyan God, like maybe the full version. So pretty much whereas you have the red and then the blue and then, something in the future, maybe a transformation that Goku's going to achieve in the Tournament of Power, I don't think that's the case, right? I think this is simply Super Saiyan God. I don't think it's an ultimate God state, but it is a little bit hard to tell because it's not like we actually saw that ancient Saiyan in his entirety. We only saw a silhouette, and the silhouette looked what looked to be like Vegeta. Right now, we know it's not Vegeta because it's a very long time ago, but you could assume that there's some relationship there. Like maybe this is one of Vegeta's ancestors, right? Or somebody, a part of Vegeta's family's ancestors. Now that's what we're talking about today, the original SS God and Vegeta, right? According to the story, this was a righteous Saiyan. He defeated all the evil Saiyans. He was pure-hearted in the same way that Vegeta's pure-hearted, or at the very least, Vegeta's going down that route, right? And he was kind of born pure-hearted, but he was also kind of put into a really, we don't need to get into Vegeta's story, but a lot of twisted things happen. Like the Saiyan race ain't no pure-hearted race by any means. There's a lot of brutality amongst these people. But keep in mind, this form that was attained by this original Super Saiyan God did not last very long. There was a clear time limit, and because of this time limit, he actually failed in stopping the evil Saiyans, right? The destiny of the Saiyans went down the wrong path because dude failed, right? He didn't last very long in this powerful state that gave him the edge against all these evil Saiyans. Now, why does this original Super Saiyan God look like Vegeta, and why do you see this common theme of Super Saiyan God being brought back, as well as Vegeta sort of becoming the righteous Saiyan amongst the Saiyans that exist today? Yes, I consider Vegeta more righteous than Goku today, because Goku isn't giving a simple thought to his actions that could lead to his universe's extinction, whereas Vegeta is trying to be extra logical in every decision that he makes, respecting authority, respecting the gods, so that everyone in his family as well as in his universe can survive. Yes, I see Vegeta more righteous than Goku today, and that's what we got to talk about, the pure-hearted Saiyan Vegeta, right? And let's be honest, guys, you can't take Vegeta as a whole and just call him a pure-hearted Saiyan, but you could at the very least look at his lineage, where he came from, where he is today, and assume that he is going down that righteous path. We're not talking about Bardock. We're not going to talk about the history of the Saiyans and why Vegeta is a part of the royal line. We all know about, King Vegeta and what he did and, the canonical, non-canonical debates. We're not going to get into all of that. But we got to talk about the original Super Saiyan God, which is canon, why he looks like Vegeta, and could that have something to do with the descendant of his? Because I truly believe Vegeta is a descendant of the original Super Saiyan God, and I believe this original Super Saiyan God achieved that state for a reason, because he came from, a stronger line of the Saiyan race, meaning that could reflect onto Vegeta, and he could go Super Saiyan God soon. Not only that, possibly achieving an even higher state of that transformation than Goku sometime in the future. And I am not Vegeta fanboying right now. I'm just trying to give you guys facts based off of what was laid out in the series and try and connect some things that a lot of people just aren't giving the effort to connect, because Battle of Gods did take place some time ago. Now, one reason why we know the original Super Saiyan God is the actual Super Saiyan God transformation, and it's not, some special, unique, ultimate God form like maybe, the base God form, transformation that a lot of people are talking about, that maybe Goku will eventually achieve, maybe in this Tournament of Power, is because when the story was told by Shenron basically mentioned how, he had to use the power of 5 other pure-hearted Saiyans, and we know that's in line with the ritual of Super Saiyan God. So it's safe to assume original Super Saiyan God is Super Saiyan God, just an ancient Saiyan that went that form. But for instance, Vegeta didn't go through that ritual. He just sort of skipped that entire transformation and went directly to Super Saiyan Blue. Now, I know a lot of people are going to overlook that, but I don't think that should be overlooked, especially since Super Saiyan God is now once again going to be relevant in the story. And that's the thing, this character looks too much like Vegeta if you just look at his hair, and we know that descendants oftentimes look like their predecessors, right? It looks too much like Vegeta for there not to be a connection. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, Toei probably just got lazy and they literally used Vegeta and, used the silhouette of him, and that's this ancient Saiyan, right? It could just be something like that, but I'm going to have a little bit more faith in the creators than to assume they're going to just toy around with Super Saiyan God and the story of this kind of, very powerful state. Because for those of you that don't know, the concept behind the creation of Super Saiyan God was debated a lot amongst the creators, because that's the new image of the new era of the Dragon Ball franchise, the Super Saiyan God. So I don't think they're just going to toy around with this form. I don't think so, and I actually feel like the story behind the Super Saiyan God is going to be relevant, because we still have more transformations to come. What I'm saying is, don't be surprised if Vegeta has some kind of DNA change, something about him that makes him special when it comes to the state. Like, he does not need the same process as Goku, or there's something unique about his process that will put him above Goku sometime in the future. Because his ancestor went Super Saiyan God first, probably doing something to that genetic code, right? Maybe changing up the ki, maybe that Saiyan breeded with another Saiyan with a lot of potential and they passed it down, and Vegeta could use this power easier and more quickly, and maybe that's explaining why he didn't need to go Super Saiyan God and he went directly to Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, or Super Saiyan Blue. And there's still a lot of mystery surrounding how Vegeta even got God Ki on his own, right? Basically, it's that he went to train with Whis for like 6 months and he came back and he had access to this transformation, right? But there were no other pure-hearted Saiyans out there on Beerus's planet where Vegeta was training. So for some reason, he was able to do that without the ritual, without the same ritual that his ancestor used. So I don't know what that's even about. Is it possible that because his ancestor did that, that he gets privilege now over someone like Goku? Nobody in Goku's line maybe actually went through that process? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Do you think that the original Super Saiyan God has any relevance today? Do you think that there's a reason why the character looks like Vegeta, the silhouette looks like Vegeta? Or do you just think it's Toei being lazy? I'm looking too much into this and, you know, fuck Vegeta, right? It's all about Goku right now. He's going Super Saiyan God. We don't even got to think about Vegeta, who completely skipped out on that form, even though in the manga he used that form, right? But we saw Blue before God. So a lot of stuff to go around, guys. I don't know. Some of you probably are like, Double Four, why are you pulling stuff out?